feel like with our organization, the people that help out and the people that are paid, they all have something invested in it. Whether it's a family member that was in the service 40 years ago, or you grew up with one, or your whole family's veterans. We're taking very practical concepts and incorporating it with our surf therapy, and it's different. The ocean pushes people. It keeps you humbled. You learn a lot about yourself out in the ocean. Physically, you feel better. It's important because our work's important because it's different. It's important because the people involved are giving everything they have to make it better and enhance the program. It's important because it's sustainable. If you live by an ocean and you have a surfboard, you don't have to wait in line for a medication. You don't have to worry for a doctor's appointment. It helps you. It's important because it takes all these issues, and we can find a way to really deal with a bunch of them at once. Our program's focused on you might have some things that are giving you a hard time, but what can we do to get past it, through it, and move forward so our lives can be better? And it's important because it's a community helping and taking care of a population.
Met Andy. He was friends with one of my sister's boyfriends at the time, and he asked me probably back in 2013 if I wanted to, go there and learn how to surf, and I told him hell no. I don't want to surf, and I don't want to be around people in the military. And then probably last year, I was on the beach, and there were so many surfers because there was a hurricane coming, so the swells were huge, and I was like, what am I doing sitting here reading this book when I could be surfing? So I borrowed my friend's board, and it was like a little shorty, like a 6.0, and I took it out to the water, and I couldn't even paddle on it or sit on it. So I was like, I'm gonna have to give Andy a call. So I went to the camp and learned how to surf, and then I came down here for the first time and really got destroyed. But this year I'm catching some waves, and I feel really good about it.
I was actually paying on Folly Beach to take surf lessons through Charleston Surf Lessons, and Tommy just happened to see my shirt. I was wearing a military shirt, and he told me about the Warrior Surf Foundation. Said I should go look it up and get up with them if I wanted to really learn how to surf, because it'd be very conducive to that, and I feel like it has been. So yeah, one of the things we mentioned was the camaraderie and the bond that you form through combat, and how a lot of veterans are missing that when they go transition into civilian life. And one of the things the Warrior Surf Foundation and surfing in general, with the group of people, with the commonality that we share and the experiences that we share, is something that replaces for a lot of people the thing that they can't get back from not being in the military anymore.
Yeah, having the buddies to hang out with and
knowing
swap
that the
stories
guy next to you would knock somebody out in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
If stuff got hairy, that's huge.
What are those relationships with you? Relationships with volunteers and Warrior Surf participants? What does that mean?
It's completely changed my life, really, because now these people are my friends, and I have so much more in common with them than I do with my other friends back home that don't surf and weren't in the military.
The first time I came into Warrior Surf, I could see the camaraderie among the group. I still felt a bit like an outsider. Just walking in was scary, approaching a new group that already has a lot of bonds. But I could see that it was something I wanted to be a part of, and it didn't take more than a few minutes for me to feel comfortable, and to, only a few sessions later, and I was one of those people. For a long time, I experienced many traumatic events through life, through deployments, and for the longest time I felt like other people deserved these special programs more than I did. I felt like if I were to participate in Warrior Surf, I would be taking a spot away from a veteran that was more deserving than I was, that maybe saw more combat or had more traumatic events occur in their lives than I did. And through Warrior Surf, I realized everybody has a different story. Everybody's background contributes to the way they respond to certain traumatic events. You and I can have the same experience and really react completely different. I learned a lot about people's stories, and in my mind, maybe some weren't as traumatic or more traumatic, but nobody in Warrior Surf Foundation judges your feelings. You can be vulnerable, and you deserve help just like everybody else. I deserved help just like everybody else. And even though I was getting help through active duty side, it was very sterile. It's the standard closed room with a counselor and myself. And for me, while that helps, that's not a complete treatment for my own concerns. And so through Warrior Surf, and particularly Andy, always telling me to stop saying I don't deserve something, don't deserve this, or because I do. And so I've been really fortunate to be able to kind of dump that from my vocabulary and kind of dump that really from my life, because there are times in my life I feel the same way.
I feel the ocean's very powerful. We can talk about the community, we can talk about the brotherhood and the sisterhood and all this stuff, but the ocean is the ocean's the main ingredient. I see it. You can look at a veteran when they go in the water for a few hours and they come out, it's night and day. I don't have to do a long drawn out research study to say that the ocean does some magical things to people in their lives. It also works because there's a community of people around us, veteran and non-veteran, that enjoy a certain activity together and a certain lifestyle. This is surf therapy. The ocean does its work. We're there to support each other in the ocean, to keep us accountable, whether it's, hey man, I haven't seen you in a while, why aren't you surfing? Or to kind of cheer each other on and push each other out in the ocean. To do that with your family members and your kids is an important piece of what we do, because it's a family effort. But surf therapy is the main ingredient, but some of the positive psychology practices that we put our veterans through, the wellness piece, a lot of therapy in a clinical setting points out a lot of the wrongs and the weaknesses that we have, and that's okay to point out. But our program, if you go through the wellness piece, pushes you to work on the past, maybe some of your weaknesses, but also focusing on what you're good at, what your strengths are, and how can we use that to better our lives for now and in the future.